Hey, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to draw a simplified version of the Grinch's head, which was the foundation for the finished drawing that you're seeing right now. To work with me on this drawing, you'll need four things. First, a pencil. Second, an eraser. Third, a border template, which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. Fourth would be an optional item, this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. However, if you just prefer to follow along and draw with me, then you don't really need it. So, off we go. Let's draw a simplified version of the Grinch's head. So what I want to do first is draw the largest shape that I have here, and that is going to be, of course, his head. So what I want to do is start by figuring out how big that head is going to be. So I'm going to start over here on my left. I'm going to take a look at my left border. I'm going to make a judgment for negative space. And I want the edge of his head to be quite close to my border. So I'm going to put a mark somewhere over here to mark the negative space between the head and my left border. Coming down here to the bottom, I'm looking at my bottom border. I'm going to come up just a little bit of distance. And I'm going to mark again a very small negative space, about like this, for the bottom of his head. Okay, then I'm going to come here to my reference point. I'm going to go out to the right, and I'm going to judge a distance. How far do I want the side of his head to be from my reference point? And I'm thinking of a place that's about, I'm thinking about right here. Okay, so I've got three locations, as you can see. Now, the most difficult one is to figure out where the top of his head is going to be. And if I do this, if I judge the distance between my reference point and my top border, and if I put a horizontal mark in the middle between my reference point and my border, which is something about right here, I'm going to mark that with another horizontal line. Now, I love to take my time when I started drawing, and I'm trying to get the size correct. Okay, very good. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to lightly sketch, and I'm going to start to draw a slanted line that's going to go upward like this and hit this horizontal line about right there, as you can see. Okay, then I'm going to bring that down like this, and I'm going to hit this vertical line right here. So I'm drawing a shape that's like this. You can see my pencil going in that direction. So this is what I want for the top of the head. Then I'm going to come down like this, and this will give me the side of his head right about there. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to continue, and I'm going to draw a slanted mark that's going to come down like this. You can see my pencil going in this direction. And I'm going to come down like this and hit this mark about right here. Okay, so you see that light sketch mark that I made? So I'm going to draw over that a little bit darker so you can see that. And I'm going to sketch in the bottom of his head like that. Now this is a very unusual shape, and as you can see, I'm really taking my time as I do it. Okay, now I'm going to come out to the right just a little bit with a curve like this. Make a little rounded area for his cheek, and then I'm going to slant downward and then downward again like this for his neck. Okay, so I did that kind of quick, so let's review that. So what I did is I came down, I came out for his cheek about right here, made that kind of rounded as you can see, came down again, changed direction, made a vertical line, and this will give me the neck of my Grinch. Okay, so that's what I have so far, this very unusual shape for the head of the Grinch. Okay, excellent. Let's do something easy. Let's put on the collar for his for the trim of his hat, or his suit, I should say. I'm just going to come right here. I'm going to come out. I'm just going to loop around with a little loop like that, bring that down to my bottom border, and I've got one side right there. I'll come about straight across to the other side. I'll do the same thing. I'll just put in a little loop like this, and I'll just bring that around and touch my bottom border, as you can see. And that gives me the top of his suit trim, just like that. Okay, very good. Now, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to put on part of his hat. So, I'm going to judge my negative space. I'm going to come up here to my top border. I'm going to be just underneath it. I'm going to draw a horizontal mark very close to my top border. And then my right border, I'm going to come in just a little bit. I'm going to draw a vertical line right there, that close to my border. Okay, so that means that I want the tip of his hat to be right here in this corner, and I'm going to make a little rounded curve right there. There you go. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from the side of his head. I'm going to keep on going up, and I'm going to go right towards that curving mark like that. And that's going to give me the side and top area of his hat. Okay, now I'm going to stop there for a moment. Then I'm going to come back to the side of his head. And if I draw from my reference point kind of a slanted line that slants downward to the right, I'm going to put a mark right here, okay? And that's going to give me the bottom of his hat. Okay, so watch what I do here. So what I've got going on, I've got the bottom of his hat. It's going to come up like this. And then about right there, it's going to change direction. And do you see how quickly I did that? I did that kind of quick. Let me go over that again with you. Here I go, coming up, making a little bit of a curve like this, and then going towards my mark right there. So that gives me the side of his hat. Okay, very good. All right, now I'm going to continue with this hat. This is a little bit tricky. Back to my reference point. I'm going to come down and a little bit to the left, just barely under my reference point. I'm going to put a mark slanted like that, and that's going to help me as I draw his hat like this, coming into the head, slanting upward, hitting my mark, and then I'm going to continue with this type of slant like this, and I'm going to continue, and I'm going to go and touch the side of his head right there, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to leave that alone for a moment. Okay, then back over here, I'm going to continue. I'm going to work on the edge of his hat. I'm going to come up, over. I'm going to curve just a little bit, right there. Okay, then I'm going to come into his head, and I'm going to draw a line that's coming across. Check how close I am to my reference point. That looks good. Very good, right there. Okay, then I'm going to put a mark where I need to cross his head. And that's going to be a spot that's like right here. And I'll put a little mark. So I just put a little mark for me to go to. So I'm going to come up, go towards that mark. I'm going to hit that mark. I'm going to go outside the hat, up just a little bit. I'll stop right there. On this side, I'm going to go out, outside his head. I'm going to change direction, and then I'm just going to curve it around like that. I did that super light. I'm going to go over that just a little bit darker so you can see it. That's going to come up like this and give me the trim of his hat. Okay, now do you see how wide it is over here? And it's a little bit skinnier, of course, on this side, as you can see. Okay, very good. Now, I've got to work on some of these interior details for his face. They can be a little bit tricky, but let me show you how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to come to my reference point. I'm going to come down along his hat line, and I'm going to move a little bit to the right, and I'll put a mark right there. And that's where I want to start drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a very short line that slants a little bit to the left, and I'll stop right there. Okay, here I have his neck area. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up from the bottom of his neck, and I'm going to put a dot that's about even with this collar line. I'm going to put a dot like right there, and I'm going to make that dot dark so you can see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from the bottom of this line towards this mark, but I can't connect it with a straight line. I need to do a curve. So I'm going to curve to the right and then curve back right towards my mark. Okay, and that's kind of a tricky line to get, but we've got to get that as a curve, as you can see right there. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, back I'm going to come to this line right here, and I'm going to put in just a little curving line that's basically parallel to this hat angle. I'm going to draw that up like this. Oh, I'll go up maybe about that far. Just a nice little curve, basically parallel to my hat line right there. Okay, there it is, looking good. Okay, then I'm going to come down this line a super short distance, like right there. I'll put a little mark, and then I'm going to draw a curving line like this that goes up and touches the bottom of his hat right there. Okay, that's looking good. Continuing, so then right here I want to draw a very small oval that's going to represent a simplified shape for my Grinch's nose. Now, do you see how large I'm doing this oval? It's not very big. I drew it really light, really small. I'm going to go over that just a little bit darker. So on the left side, it's just a little bit bigger. I'm going to sketch that in like this. And on the right side, it's just a little bit smaller, like that. And that's going to give me my Grinch's nose. Okay, there it is. Nice, simplified oval. Okay, now I've got to draw part of his muzzle over here. It's a little bit tricky. Let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go back to the nose, and I'm going to put a mark right here on the right side of the nose, right about right there. Okay, now that's where I'm going to start drawing. And then I'm going to come here to the bottom of my line. I'm going to come up just a little bit, and I'm going to put a mark right there. Okay, so what I need to do is draw kind of a curving shape between those two marks. Okay, so let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out kind of straight. I'm going to curve downward. I'm going to get quite close to the edge of my face right there. And then I'm going to just bring that around and draw right towards my mark, just like that. And that gives me about half of my Grinch's muzzle. Okay, now the other half is kind of tricky to do. So I'm going to start here, side of the nose. I'm going to put a mark right there. Okay, that's pretty easy to see. I'm going to end it all the way down here at the bottom of this curving line. So that's going to be a spot about right here. Okay, now what's hard to do is figure out how far it goes out over here. So I'm going to put a mark about right here, I'm going to sketch in a vertical line. Okay, there I go. And that's where I need to go to for that side of his muzzle. Okay, so I'm going to start here. It's going to curve up just a bit like this. I'm going to begin to curve that, hit my mark right there. That looks pretty good. Curving up, get that little curve right there. Stay connected to my line about that far. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw from here with a nice line that gently curves right down to his muzzle, to the point of his muzzle right there. Okay, so let me sketch that in just like that. Just go over that just a little bit darker. There we go, coming down, and there I have it. Okay, so I take a look at this. I've got some nice simple shapes. It fills up my space. I drew light. I took my time. I've got some great simplified shapes. It's already starting to look like the Grinch, and I'm ready for some details. So, how did yours turn out? I'm sure that if you were patient and careful, your simplified version of the Grinch's head looks great. Remember, the hard thing for young artists to do is to figure out how to get started. But if you've worked with me, you've got all of that figured out. Your drawing is accurate in terms of size and proportion, and now you're ready for the details. You can find the details on this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. Remember, use your simple shapes as a guide to help you know where to put the details and at about how big they should be drawn. As you draw the details, erase the simplified shapes. Thanks again for stopping by, and don't forget to keep on drawing.